Suit up, strap in, warm the tires, and leave on yellow. Time for the MitsuTimes podcast. Presented by MitsuTimes.org, the home of the fastest Mitsubishi cars. With your host, Josh.
Welcome to another episode of the MitsuTimes podcast. Today, my guest is the one and only Mr. Josh Boring. How are you today, sir?
Doing good. Another rainy day in Pennsylvania.
Man, I'm telling you, it's like, well, for us anyways, I mean, I know you're also kind of on the Ohio Valley, but it seems like, and during the week, it's fine, and then the weekend, it rains, so can't ever get anything done.
Yeah, it's been beautiful all week, and all of a sudden, it's just nasty again.
Yep. Well, Josh, I want to kick this thing off by going all the way back to the beginning. What is it that got you into cars and racing? Because, you know, we did an episode with your brother a few months back, and, you know, it seems like it's maybe a family affair.
Yeah, racing really started from the time I was born. I mean, I was born into a motocross family. I mean, my dad raced motocross from the day I was born up. I had my first dirt bike when I was 2 years old. I had a grandfather that drag raced. That's kind of where the drag racing comes in. So it's really just been something. I mean, racing anything has just been something in my family since the beginning.
Okay. Well, going back to that racing, I'm sure your grandfather wasn't probably a Mitsubishi Evo guy. What is it that drew you to the Evo?
Well, it's going to sound cliche like everybody else, but the Fast and the Furious came out the first one came out when I was like 12. The second one came out when I was like 14, 15 maybe. I mean, that's where I fell in love with an Evo, the green Evo 7 off of there.
Yeah.
It's pretty much probably what everybody else says, but
it's either the green 2G or the green Evo, right?
It was the green 2G originally, but the Evo's what did it. I couldn't afford an Evo when I was that age, so.
Gotcha. Well, is there a story about how you've come to own your beautiful? Is it a silver?
Yeah, it's a Hyper Silver Evo 9.
Hyper Silver. What's the story behind how you picked that up?
Oh man, it's a long story. Well, originally I started with when I turned 16, I got a 2G non-turbo. Had that for years, and I graduated and got a little bit of money for graduating high school and bought a 1G all-wheel drive turbo. And that was a salvage car that I had no clue what I was doing. I was 16 years old and had a couple wrenches. That car never ran. And then I sold that and got a black 1G that was actually drivable, and I drove out for a few years, and then kind of got out of the DSM stuff and got into Volkswagen stuff. And then just one night, my buddy had a Blue Bayou Evo, and he had a heck of a time with that car. It was always broken on him, stuff like that. And one night I was sitting at home, and he messaged me saying, "Come buy this car right now." I just threw him a lowball offer of $5,000. And he said, "If you show up in the morning, you can have it."
That's how it all started.
So that's where the Evos came in. I got that car and rebuilt it, and that was good. And then I actually ended up selling that car after probably 4 or 5 years to buy my house. And then I bought my house and remodeled it all, and then in 2020... finally had enough money to start getting back into cars, and that's where the silver one came from. Drove 10 hours to New York and picked it up.
Oh, wow. So what's going on under the hood now? Because, you know, if the listeners aren't aware, this is a very, very, very low 10-second Evo. What do you got going on under the hood there?
As of this year, the setup for this year, it's a 2.2 liter, Kurt Brown ported and polished head. Still have that around, thankfully. It's new for this year. It has a dog box transmission, an Arcanary 68 millimeter turbo, And I mean, other than that, it's pretty basic setup.
Okay. Kind of a build kind of going around the turbo, all the supporting mods and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not like a crazy build or anything. It's a Busher 2.2 liter. And just new for this year, like I said, we're going a little bit harder to the dog box setup, see what happens, and
I like that. So what issues or roadblocks have you run into doing this new build?
nothing really crazy. I mean, the bottom end I put in 2 years ago, and then at the shootout that year, I lost a head gasket, unfortunately. And we got home and redid that. And then last year at the shootout, I just fought boost leaks like crazy. I actually blew my hot side charge pipe off and then ran it over and crushed it completely. And that kind of ruined my weekend. We spent hours trying to fix that thing, couldn't find anything that would work. And I mean, it was leaking a lot of boost, to say that.
Which incident was it that made for the nice big cloud going down the strip picture?
That was actually after the shootout last year. We lost a turbo because of that situation, because the turbo was pushing probably 70, 80 psi and the car was only seeing around 35.
Oh wow!
So we were overworking the turbo quite a bit at the shootout just to get by.
Sounds like it. So I know you and your brother always use the hashtag boring built. Do you guys do all the work yourself, or is it something that you guys just kind of use, kind of ironically?
Everything on the car is done by us except for the specifics like building the bottom ends and
Right.
the transmissions. Everything else is, I mean, honestly, just last night I put this transmission in myself till like 2 in the morning.
Stayed up putting in the midnight oil.
I had ADHD problem real bad. I planned on just setting it underneath the car and getting it prepped to work on tonight. Next thing I know, I blink my eyes and it's 2 in the morning, and I have like 3 more bolts to turn and everything's done.
Wow. So what about tuning? You guys do that yourself?
We don't do any of the tuning. Mike Dumbos does all of our tuning. Great guy. My car wouldn't be where it is today without him.
Yep. Huge shout out to Big Mike. Love that guy.
Yeah, Mike's, when we got hooked up with him, I mean, we had some issues with previous people we had tuning the car, and I mean, as much time as he's put in between our two cars is just insane. I mean, last year we ran into a lot of fueling issues on my car, and we fought it pretty much all summer until the shootout, and he just loved working on it and figuring it out.
Good deal. So what about, I know we talked about a low 10-second car. Have you ever had it on a dyno?
It was on a dyno. First time Mike tuned the car, it was on a 64, 66 at the time. It made around 711 horsepower and like 680-ish torque. I can't remember the number exactly.
Mm-hmm. And it's a 1001. What was the speed?
1001 is around 143.
143, okay. So, hollow in the mill, as they say.
Yeah, it should be a mid 9-second car if I could learn how to drive.
Well, one of the things talking to you in person is you always talk about how you just need more seat time.
Yeah, that's honestly, I mean, I probably have 30 drag passes at most under my belt.
I mean, to be able to run that low 10, that's pretty impressive.
There's not a whole lot of time. The car's gone through a lot of changes over the past 5 years.
And I think there's a lot of people out there who would back this up at launching any all-wheel drive car, but a manual one for sure is not an easy task.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. My dad has a C7 Z06 Corvette. He says all the time how fast it could be on the track. I'm like, and how good of a driver he is. I'm like, just come out to the track with us. He refuses to do it, though.
Can't be proven wrong.
Yeah, it's just we always try to get him to drive our cars all the time. He wants nothing to do with it.
Well, Josh, out of all the upgrades and stuff that you talked about, what's been the biggest upgrade that has, or what's been the best upgrade that's made the biggest difference for you?
Honestly, for the track, probably we hooked up with Hugh Train at the shootout last year. Yeah, last year, and he gave us a deal on his shifter, and just honestly, the head game of that, not thinking about where you're shifting and just being able to push the shifter, that made a huge difference.
Just eases the peace of mind a little bit.
Yeah, just peace of mind to know that you don't got to worry about going into the wrong gear, and just, I mean, drag racing is a huge head game, and not a lot of people realize that.
Yeah, for sure. That's something that I've often tried to figure out the best way to kind of make a documentary, a small one, into how much drag racing is just in your head.
Oh, there's so much in your head pulling up to the line, and I mean, I've always had a trouble with short shifting. It's a battle that I've been fighting is my 1 to 2 shift. I always shift way too short, and it kills me.
Well, because you're thinking about, do I break my car or do I go ahead and shift and just make it down the strip?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Josh, we talked about how much of a head game it is. To walk us through a typical day from the time you unload off the trailer, from the time you get to the burnout box for the first pass, what's going on in your day?
I mean, pulling off the truck, it's going to be checking all the fluids on the car. I mean, checking all the lug bolts, making sure the car's safe is a big thing. I have 2 kids, so safety's a big thing to me. That's why my car really didn't need a roll cage in it, but because I have 2 kids, it got a cage put in it this winter. So safety's a big thing to me. Just make sure the car's good to go. And pulling up the line, honestly, like I said earlier, racing's always been a huge part of my life, so I don't have crazy nerves like some people do about it. It's just kind of comes natural, so that's not really anything. It's more or less just kiss the kids and give hugs, because you never know what's going to happen out there, but still.
For sure.
And then just get up to the burnout box, and I don't know. I love the feeling, like the shootout, especially when there's just a crowd of people around you, and you just do a burnout and everybody's standing there. Like, my car has a side exit exhaust, and we have videos of people jumping out of the way because the 2-step scared them. It's honestly, I laugh sitting in the car when I see somebody jump up and jump out of the way.
Now, at the shootout, do you think it's added pressure or pressure taken off because everybody watching is your friends?
I've never really worried about pressure there, because I have a hard time saying that I'm a racer, because I do this just for pure fun.
I gotcha.
I'm out there racing myself. I really don't. I've never been into the huge, grudge racing and being super competitive about it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Racing's fun. My first actual race I've ever done was last year at the shootout.
Oh, no kidding.
It was against Robert Young, of course. Somehow I took that W, and that was, for my first ever drag race down a track, to beat Robert Young in a race was a huge deal to me.
That's pretty special, for sure. Well, all right, so we talk about, being in your head. You pull up, you got the first yellow light, pull up more, you got the second yellow light. What's going through your head right before that light turns green?
That's kind of where when that second yellow light comes on, that's kind of where I start to get nervous.
Yeah.
More or less, I just try to keep myself calm and don't drop the clutch and try not to break the car. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Try not to break the car or launching it way too hard. I mean, I have a lot of time just yelling at myself in my head not to drop the clutch, to ride it out, to be smooth.
Yeah. You kind of went over it already, but are there any other pre-race rituals that you do other than, kissing the kids? Is there, you got to take a pre-race dump or get something to eat or anything like that?
No, not really. I mean, just stand there and talk to friends, really.
Yeah.
The shootout's what got me into all this, honestly, just because it's a good time to hang out with people and just talk, and everybody wants to do the same thing.
Right. Yep. That's really the best part of it.
Yeah, I love going to the track and just hanging out with people. It's just, even if it's just like a test and tune day, it's just, I don't know what it is. It's just a big family thing, honestly.
For sure. So let's go back to 2023. You ran the 10:09 at 140. How did that feel after seeing that slip?
That was the year that I lost the head gasket in the car. That was Sunday morning. They just announced there was going to be a test and tune, and I'm like, I think I was either the first or second car at the track. So I ran out. I'm like, I'm going to see if there's something wrong with this car or what's going on. Because it was pushing a little bit of water, but it wasn't anything crazy. I honestly thought I just had an air bubble in the cooling system. I wasn't doing anything crazy, but I just did that run down the track, just tried to go A to B, and I didn't think anything of it. Pulled up to the ticket box, grabbed the ticket. I didn't even look at it until I was back at the truck. And then I started looking at it. I'm like, holy cow, this is a PB, and I'm not even trying to do anything. Why don't I do this more often?
It's so crazy to me how often that happens, where a racer gets back to the pits and they're like, oh man, that was a terrible pass. And then they look at the slope, whoa.
Yeah, that's like
PB.
My brother's coming up to me. He's like, hey, you got your PB there. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I just looked out at the slip. I'm like, oh.
I had to feel real, especially with the 1.5 60 foot. I mean, especially for, like you said, less than 30 passes. And back in 2023, it was probably half of that.
Yeah, ours was a lot simpler then. I kind of miss it then.
Well, Josh, have you had any mechanical failures at the track?
Never really had anything crazy happen at the track. Like I said, I lost the head gasket one time. Then we talked about I lost that one the turbo last year that has the picture with smoke all behind the car, and it's kind of crazy. That was the only time I've ever freaked out, and not really freaked out, but I saw the smoke and something was wrong with the car, and I pulled the chute. It was honestly my first time ever even pulling the chute, and it was just natural habit to try to get the car stopped as fast as possible.
Right.
You don't know if you're losing oil on the track or what's going on.
You lose those power brakes, you're in some trouble.
I have no power brakes on this car, so. You lose brakes in general.
Yep.
This episode of the MitsuTimes podcast is brought to you by Club Spec Custom Designs. They pride themselves on providing the highest level of customer service and satisfaction with their innovative designs and quality. They guarantee that you will be amazed with the results that will be produced. They are providing quality products for your Mitsubishi Lancer Rallyart, Mitsubishi Evolution 10, or Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. Check out all their products at clubspecchicago.com.
So what about, you and your brother, you both have Evos. How is the Evo community and more so the drag community in the area that you guys are in?
I mean, the Evo community is pretty good around us. I mean, we kind of live in the middle of nowhere, though. I mean, we live about 40 minutes north of Pittsburgh. I mean, there's a lot of shops around us that do stuff. Grade A Garage, TPG. I mean, they're all within hour and a half of us. Like I said, Mike Gumbos, he lives about an hour from me. I have a good buddy, Derek Mangle. He just finished up his Evo. It should hopefully be at the shootout this year. He lives 15 minutes from me. There's actually quite a bit of Evos around here.
It does seem to be the hot spot. I feel like half of the shootout comes from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, there's a lot of Evos around here. I wouldn't say there's a ton of competition of stuff going on. More just friendly wagering stuff and normal car stuff, talking crap on each other.
Yeah. Well, I know you talked about when you go to the track, you pretty much just race yourself. Is there any friendly rivalries maybe between you and your brother or anyone else?
I'd say that's the biggest rivalry. It's just me and my brother going back and forth because he ran a 995 before me, and I'm the one who put his whole car together.
Ouch.
I mean, we work on the stuff together, but it's like I spend a lot of time and go through crazy details on my car, and a lot of times he'll just like slap something together real quick, and then he'll just show up and freaking blow me away or go way faster. It's like, come on, man! I just spent all this time. Yeah, it's pretty cool though. There's 10 years apart from us. I'm 34. He's 24. So it's pretty cool family thing going on.
Yeah, for sure. So, Josh, you've been around these cars for a long time. If someone has an Evo and they're thinking about getting into drag racing, what advice would you give them?
Don't worry about what the internet tells you. Don't worry about trying to make 1,000 horsepower, go out and go fast. Start simple. I mean, you go out into an Evo, and run 11s, that's still doing pretty dang good. Biggest thing I see a lot of guys do, too, is there's a lot of guys that go and spend, like, their life savings on these cars, and I wouldn't suggest that. I've been fortunate that I make a pretty good living to be able to do what I do in my car. But I just go have fun with the car, honestly.
Yeah. And Josh, I'm sure you can attest to this. How many times have we seen someone, run up a credit card, building a car, then the first time it breaks, they got to part it out?
Oh, exactly. I hate seeing that. Like seeing an awesome build, and then it's like one time down the track, something stupid breaks. And that's one thing with these cars. I mean, you're going down a racetrack, you got to expect something to break. Every time down the strip, that's something through my head. It's like, all right, this could cost me a transmission or a full motor, or this could cost me a year of saving money to try and fix this thing.
That's what always, kind of blows my mind on the internet as well. Evos are so unreliable. The car made 200 horsepower from the factory. I mean, look at what we're doing.
I've never understood that because I've never had any, like, crazy issues or anything. Like, I originally had a 2.4 block in this car, and it was making around 600 to 700 horsepower. It had, like, 50,000 miles on it.
And since it was a 2.4, it's probably an absolute torque monster.
Oh, it was honestly, that was the best setup in this car. I miss it so much when it was just simple and just a car I had to go drive on the street. And seems like every Evo guy says that. They get into the drag racing thing, they just go crazy for 5 years, and it's like, why did I do that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. How many times have we heard that on this podcast, for sure?
It's just so funny saying that because I love the car where it's at now, but it's like, I look back, it's like, wow, I missed the where it was just a car that I'd go turn the key and go get ice cream, not like go through a 30-minute
pre-flight checks,
checking oil and tire pressures.
Yeah. Well, Josh, as a newer driver yourself, as a newer racer yourself, what common mistakes do you see now that newer racers are making?
Biggest thing is they're too worried about going fast is what I see. I mean, everybody's too worried about, you're never going to be the fastest guy. I mean, it's hard to be the fastest guy. I won't say never, but to be able to be somewhere like Rafe or Nick Amaral is, that's a lot of dedication, and the internet makes it look easy sometimes.
Mm-hmm. That
is so far from easy that, guys, if you're just starting out, you need to just go have fun, and if your car's running an 11 or whatever, you need to have fun with it when you can afford, and just have fun with where you can keep the car reliable.
Yeah. Like you said, be happy with an 11-second pass. That's actually
slow.
Really good. You're right.
The internet makes that seem like it's slow, and it's not. In my opinion, like my Evo going 9s, by today's society, that's not fast at all. But to me, that's a 999 is like, I'd love to see that flying. I think the biggest thing is the internet shows that, and then people that are getting into it, they've never even really been in like a 400 or 500 horsepower car.
Right.
So they don't know what they're getting into, and it's just like, all right, I'm going from a stock Honda Civic to a 700 horsepower, pretty much race car.
Yeah. Yep. Well, Josh, what do you wish you knew when you first started building your Evo?
Oh, there's a lot. I mean, I've made a lot of mistakes building this thing. I mean, biggest thing is don't cheap out on parts. Make sure you trust who you're having work on your car and build your parts. Do a lot of research. When I first started building this car, it was just hurry up and throw it together and let's see what works. You can't be scared of it breaking if you're trying to go fast. That's the biggest thing that I've learned is if something breaks, don't get mad and all upset about it. And it's kind of the nature of the game.
I mean, but it's also kind of what makes it fun, right?
Yeah, I don't care when stuff breaks. I mean, it hurts the bank account. But honestly, it's like, I hate to say it, but if I go to the shootout and like pop a motor or something, I'd be devastated. But it's like, oh, what am I going to do? I mean, I put myself in this situation.
Right. Time to drink for the whole weekend.
Yeah, exactly. It's time to actually go party. Or am I going to run around the pits and try to find a block and rebuild this car in a parking lot?
Right. In true shootout fashion.
Yeah.
Do some test rips right there in front of R&L.
That's the best part of the shootout. I love going through the pits and just seeing everybody working on their stuff. And
yeah.
I mean, that's what makes it what it is.
Absolutely. I wish it was a week long.
Oh, I agree. It's not long enough.
So, Josh, if money wasn't an issue, what would your dream Evo drag build look like?
Honestly, I don't think it would be any different than where I'm at now. 'Cause I don't want to go much crazy faster.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my whole goal with my car is I want to be able to go to the drag strip and be fast, but I don't ever want it to be to where it's like on methanol or something.
Right.
I can't drive into a car cruise 20 minutes away from the house or 30 minutes away from the house. My car is far from what I would consider a street car, but I could get in it and drive it to a local car show I drive this car within 30 minutes of my house and not even think about it.
Right. You don't need a support vehicle for it.
Yeah, like go to Cars and Coffee. I haven't this year because I haven't had the car done, but last year I went to every Cars and Coffee every other week around here. And
you guys have those pizza cruises in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, there's a pizza power tour. I was going to go last year, but I'm like, Kirky's in like an 80-mile round trip, and then where it starts is about 50 miles away from me. I'm like, I actually just picked up a Volkswagen R32 that is turboed, and that's kind of going to be my street fun car because the Evo got a little bit out of hand.
I do love those R32s, I hate to admit.
It's a Mark V with a DSG. It makes 470 horsepower. It's a blast for just something to go drive somewhere.
I bet that thing's a rocket ship.
Evo originally was you just get in it, turn the key, and go have fun.
Yeah. Well, Josh, what's one mod that you would never touch even if people swear by it?
I mean, that's a hard one. The only thing that I don't get about the Evos is getting into like the stance stuff and airbags and I love that on Volkswagen stuff, but in the Evo world I feel like that's wrong. But I'm not gonna say that I haven't seen Evos that look good like that. Just not something that I would ever do.
Yeah, the Evo has too much potential, I think.
In my opinion, an Evo is a race car, but
I agree with you.
That's one thing I'd never do is stance out an Evo, but that's just me. An Evo 10 maybe.
That's fair. Evo 10 does also look better when people do stuff like that, I think. When people have like...
I love the look of a bagged Evo 10.
Yeah, me too.
Sometimes they look right.
All right, so where can people find and follow you on social media so they can follow your racing journey or maybe even go out and see this car in action?
Yeah, my personal page is boring_Evo on Instagram, and then with both of our racing program is Boring Built on Instagram. That's on TikTok as well for both of them, so we haven't posted a whole lot lately. We've been kind of slow with stuff, but should be coming back this week, hopefully. we're trying to get both cars together right now to go to a local car show at a convention center.
Okay.
And it's been a lot of work to try to get them ready for there.
What about racing events? Where can we see you in action at this year?
I mean, the shootout's really the only thing we have scheduled this year.
Okay.
There's some local stuff going on. It's called Flashlight Drags here. It's an old airport that they shut down for a couple hours and do some street digs and stuff like that. That's kind of my plan with this car. Is I got a set of 15-inch Mickey Thompson street slicks. Try to do some street stuff with it and see what happens.
That'd be interesting. I'm definitely going to be following you for that. See how that turns out.
Oh, that's kind of my goal right now, is to get to one of those this year and see where it goes. Car went through a lot more of an undertaking than I ever planned on this winter. It wasn't supposed to get anything, and it kind of got completely rebuilt.
Supposed to just get maintenance done, and then now you got a whole new car.
Honestly, that's what it was supposed to be this winter, and then next thing you know, I ripped out the interior and got a cage put in, and then the transmission wasn't supposed to get changed, and a deal popped up, and I bought that, and then they got small brakes this year to be able to put 15-inch wheels on, and
I do understand, though, because I feel like even if you're not planning on going race speeds, you should really consider a cage as one of your mandatory mods.
I agree. That's a big thing to me. Is there's a lot of Evos out there that are crazy fast with no cage in them, and that scares me.
Yeah.
There's guys going way faster than what I was with no cage or really any safety equipment at all. I mean, Busher did it years ago, so.
I feel like even the shootout years ago was just kind of the Wild West.
I still think it is a little bit. I don't think there'd be anybody there if they were really strict with the rules.
That's probably fair, too. Well, Josh, at the end, I always give people a chance to give a thanks or a shout-out to anybody who's helped them get where they are, get their car where it is. Is there anybody that you want to give a thanks or a shout-out to?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Mike Dumbos, for sure, tuning us. We talked about him. Tyler Canary of our Canary Turbo. I mean, he hooks up me and my brother up with turbos. I mean, we're running his stuff and testing it for him. And my brother, he was here the other night freaking pulling a transmission with me at 2 a.m. And then my wife, for sure, because, I mean, she's kind of a single parent when the shootout comes around. I felt pretty bad last year at the shootout. We had a 1-month-old there.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Our daughter was just born, and she was there. I mean, I was running around like crazy trying to get the car. I stepped back a couple times and looked. I was like, wow, I feel really bad.
Forgot my family was here.
Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, she was a trooper, took care of both my kids, and didn't think about it at all, but we can't wait for the shootout again this year.
Yeah, it's too much fun.
Oh, it's a blast. I wish there was more events like it.
Yep. All right, Josh. Well, a huge thank you for coming on here and taking the time to tell your story and the story of your Evo. I can't wait to see you in action, and I can't wait to see you in person here in just a couple months.
Oh, I appreciate you guys and everything you guys do for the community. It's huge.
Of course. That's why we keep doing it. We love you guys.
Oh,
as long as you keep racing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I don't plan on quitting anytime soon, but I'm not going to promise anything.
All right, man. Well, it's been good talking to you.
Sounds good, man.
I'll see you at the track.
Yep, we'll see you.
Thank you for listening to the MitsuTimes podcast. Check out our Instagram and Facebook for daily updates. Get added to our list by going to MitsuTimes.org and clicking Submit a Slip. Thank you to all of our sponsors.